Hi, welcome to this second episode of the Opal. In this second episode, I'll keep working on the neck and the body. As you can see, I'm drawing with a pencil where I'm going to route the truss rod channel. Here I'm going to use a dual action truss rod. In order to use a filler strip, I'm going to route this channel a little bit deeper than the truss rod. I'm squaring the ends of the channel with a chisel. What I'm doing here is the headstock access. I'll finish the cut by hand with a chisel also. With an 8mm long drill bit, I'm making a hole to accommodate the truss rod nut. Okay, let's see if the truss rod fits. As you can see, it fits very well. Now our neck has a truss rod. In order to prevent truss rod rattling, I'm going to use this maple filler strip. At the next day, I flash the filler strip with the block plane. Now I'm going to start working on the ebony fingerboard. The next step is cutting the fret slots. I'm using this template and this miter box fretting jig. The scale length of this instrument is going to be 25 inches, like a PRS guitar. This last cut is to accommodate the locking nut of the Floyd Rose tremolo system. In the table saw, I'm using the crosscut sled to make the recess for the locking nut. I'll finish the work by hand with a chisel. This piece of olive wood that I'm cutting in the bandsaw is to make the headstock veneer. In order to match the very top, it will be composed of two book-matched pieces. The next step is to glue them together, but first I need to join them. Since they are two little pieces, I'm going to use cyanoacrylate to join them. This stuff is really hard, but I need to thickness them. I'm looking for a 2 mm thickness or so. With the bandsaw, I'm going to cut the neck back excess. With the help of these two squares, I'm going to match the headstock angle. I'm going to move this angle to the sander. Now I can sand the break angle of the headstock veneer. The next step is to make the headstock access. To make the access, I'm using this jeweler saw. Once I have the access, I finish the work with two files. The first flat and the second round. Since my headstock isn't wide enough, I need to glue some ears. To prevent aquaplaning once I apply pressure with the clamp, I'll use two different glues. The first, regular good glue, and the second, cyanoacrylate, just in the two sides. The cyanoacrylate will hold the pieces for me. Same process in the other edge. Now I can apply clamping force with no fear. At the next day, I can flash the ears with my number 4 plane. In order to glue the back headstock veneer, I need to smooth it. I'm using the block plane and the finger plane. Here, with the drum sander, I'm shaping the volute. I happen to have a drum which have the same diameter of my volute, so why not to use it? I still have some bumps to remove. I'm finishing the back headstock by sanding a little bit. Now it's time to glue the front and the back headstock veneer. In order to prevent slippage, I'm going to use toothpicks as locating pins. At the next day, I can glue the back veneers. They are two. The first is black and the second is mahogany pommel. Since the veneers has to conform the radius of the volute, I'm going to use as a clamping coil a thick piece of rubber. While the glue dries, I'm going to trim the fingerboard excess. I remove the bulk of the material with a bandsaw. And I'll finish it with a router table and a flash trim bit. There are two little peaks that I have to remove by hand. With the fingerboard on its final dimensions, I can trace them on the neck. I'm going to remove the excess with the bandsaw. Since I have lots of experience with the jigsaw, I'm going to use this tool to cut the headstock shape. Okay, next step, to glue the fingerboard. Like in the headstock gluing, I'm going to use toothpicks. They have 2 mm of diameter. In order to prevent back bow, I want to leave the neck on a flat surface under clamping pressure for 3 days. I'm using a granite countertop. Three days later, I can flash the neck with a fingerboard. With the belt and drum sander, I finish the shape of the headstock. Since the heel extension of the neck does not have fingerboard to reference the bearing of the bit, I have to remove it by hand with a plane. Okay, let's get back to the body. The next step is to flash the body with a top. If you remember, the top was in the final dimensions. The next step is to route the pickup packets. But first, I want to lay where the bridge approximately is going to be. Since the scale length and the pickup configuration of this guitar matches with a PRS, I'm going to use its template. I'm going to route also the electronics cavity. Before routing anything, I'm going to remove the bulk of the material with Forstner bits. Now I can finish the job with the router. Okay, once I have the pickup pockets, I can follow with the electronics cavity. I'm not going to route it in its final depth. I will finish it once I have the top carved. Okay, this video ends here. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to press the thumbs up button, comment and subscribe. In the next episode, hopefully, I will fit the neck on the body, carve it and carve the top. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching and see you really soon.